We have a choice at this point. We can either evolve, or else we can end up like Blockbuster. Really, the choice is ours. The way that we work is literally shifting every single day as a result of AI. It's mind-blowing how much it's evolving. I can't even keep up. When the internet first came out and it was available to the masses, it's like the wild, wild AI West out there. What I'm hearing from industry leaders across the globe is everyone's asking the same questions. How can it make me faster, more efficient, more effective? How can it increase my revenue? And how can it decrease my costs, including the costs of our human capital? And it's a real question that we're going to be asking and exploring ourselves. It is our job to be talking about this, to be leading the discussions, to be driving the conversations, and to be advising our leaders in our workforce of how this workforce transformation, this shift is going to actually occur, because no one really knows yet. But that is why we exist. Doesn't matter how long you've been in the industry, doesn't matter what your job title is, what company you're working for, you have to keep your skills sharp. Elaboration, learning transfer, interleaving, spaced retrieval, generation, these are all things that you should apply in the way that you're designing, developing, executing learning. Understand all of these different tools so that you've got a toolkit where you can find the right tool to solve the right problem. That's our job as trusted learning advisors. Design thinking allows us to take a step back from the problem that's in front of us. So there's problem-solving methodologies, but then there's problem-finding methodologies. And that's what design thinking is. Because it starts not with solving the problem. It starts with empathy. It starts with understanding our learners, understanding the talent, understanding the humans at the core of the problem. You cannot beat the voice of the learner. It's bigger and better than any of our voices. Because it's not just me, it's not just you, it's not just our perspective, our potential bias. Every time I give an idea to my stakeholder, they tend to say, "You don't know my business. You're just L&D." But if I can bring them the voice of their business, you cannot beat that. And a lot of times when we do these initiatives, we find out that the problem that our learners are telling us exists does not match the problem our stakeholders telling us. That's okay. I'll take both to my stakeholder and say, hey, this is actually what our learners are telling us. Which problem would you like me to focus on? So design thinking is a great tool that allows you to step back from the problem and find what problem may actually exist. It's quick, it's iterative, it's low cost or no cost, and it gives you rich data that you can then use moving forward to help build your future strategy. So if design thinking is not in your toolkit, get it in your toolkit. You know, I can call myself a leader, but if no one is willing to be led by me, am I a leader? It's the same with being a trusted learning advisor. I can say, yeah, my team is great, or I can say, I'm a trusted learning advisor. If my stakeholders don't agree and they're not willing to trust me, am I a trusted learning advisor? No. Points of view. Order takers don't have points of view. Training functions don't really have points of view. We can't make learning easy. It doesn't matter what vendor is trying to sell us a learning technology tool, it's not going to speed it up. There is a science though. Once we understand the science, we can make the cognitive load a little bit less for our learners. To be a trusted learning advisor, we've got to be embedded in the business. To be embedded in the business, we have to have relationships. So we need to be cultivating relationships outside of just the normal ones. I will bring data to my stakeholders that they didn't even know a problem existed, because they're so far removed sometimes from that frontline employee that we can be connected to them and we can make that connection on behalf of our stakeholder, on behalf of the learner. Talk to frontline workers, get the vocabulary that's meaningful from them and start to use that in your discussions. It's a great subtle way for them to start to see you as somebody who understands their business. Because again, every organization I've been to, stakeholders love to just tell me, you don't know my business. You don't know my business. It's my job, it's our job to learn their business. And it starts and stops with the vocabulary. Stop trying to get a seat at somebody else's table and invite them to come and sit with you. Build your own table. It is a way for you to take control of the conversation, of the narrative. It's a way for you to curate, to cultivate, and to lead conversations. Is to switch your mindset just a little bit. Instead of trying to think, I want to get in their room, I want to sit at their table. Build your own table and invite others to be sitting with you. Skills, skills, skills. We're all thinking about skills, and if you're not, you should be. Upskilling, reskilling, second skilling, AI skilling, technology skilling. Skills are the currency for our talent today and going to be the currency for them tomorrow. So we've got to be focusing on skills. Someone's probably talking about it in your organization. Control over that narrative. How about create a skills advisory committee or a skills advisory board or whatever vocabulary works for you, but give it a branding. Make it real. But it's nothing more than you driving the conversations. I'm not trying to prove a point in these conversations. I'm trying to elevate the way my stakeholders see me. So these are measurements that you can take a look at to see, is that trajectory happening? Because being a trusted learning advisor is a journey. It is not a destination. We're not going to be finished one day and say, yeah, we're good, we're there. The future of work does not just happen. There's not someone else in your organization that's making this happen. It's not like you just wake up and poof, one day it's there. It happens one day at a time. But L&D, we, all of us, we're the ones that get to create what that future of work looks like. Because at the end of the day, our job is to help our talent transform, to help them prepare today for the jobs of tomorrow. AI is not going to do that. The only way that we're going to be able to do that is if we can evolve to being trusted learning advisors.
I just attended a workshop by Dr. Keating, and while I've been in the industry for over 20 years, I can't tell you how excited I am and inspired by the work that he's done, his credibility, and also his tactical ways to input and make us more strategic.
And I've just had the opportunity to witness Dr. Keating here at the LTEN conference give a phenomenal keynote. His tenure in the field of L&D is notable. He had amazing experiences that he anchored to within case studies within our conversations, and he left us with some actionable insights, one of which really resonates. Instead of trying to find a seat at the table, as L&D leaders within our organizations, we actually have to build our own table so that L&D truly sits at the center of the wheel of all the functions in the business.